Let's be honest for a second. Why do 90% of budgets fail? Is it because we're all just bad with money? Is it a lack of willpower? No, it's because the system most people teach is broken. It's too complicated. I want you to picture this. It's 10 p.m. on a Sunday. You're staring at an Excel spreadsheet with 47 different line items: groceries, gas, utilities, subscriptions, pet food, coffee week 3. Your eyes are blurry, you're scanning the numbers, and you realize you spent $6.50 too much on coffee this month, and you're $11.20 over on gas. And in that moment, you just feel like a total failure. You're trying so hard to make it all add up, but you're $11 over. So what you do? You just close the laptop. What's the next move? You pull out your phone, open Uber Eats, and order $40 worth of takeout. You've already blown the budget for good, so what's the point? Sound familiar? That is budget burnout. It's the #1 reason people quit. We've been tricked into believing that good budgeting means meticulous, painful, penny-pinching torture. But what if the system itself is the problem? What if I told you that tracking every single penny is exactly why you're failing? You're not suffering from a lack of discipline. You're suffering from decision fatigue. You have to decide if a $5 latte fits into personal spending or food or guilty pleasures. Your brain just short circuits. I've been there. I used to have spreadsheets that would make a CFO cry, and I was miserable. This is about a simpler way. Forget the 47 line items. Forget the guilt over $6.50. We are going to simplify your entire financial life into just 3 buckets. That's it, 3. This isn't a tracking budget. It's a proportional budget. It's a set it and forget it system that works for you, not against you. A system that finally frees you from that decision fatigue. And, this is the most important part, makes saving automatic. Not an afterthought, not what's left over, automatic.
This 50-30-20 rule, and honestly, it's the only budget you're ever going to need. So how does it work? How do we break down your entire paycheck into just 3 simple numbers? It all starts with that first biggest bucket, the 50%. This one is for your needs. But I guarantee you, what you think is a need probably isn't. Let's break that down first. So we're left with these 3 simple buckets, 50, 30, and 20. But before we dive into what goes in those buckets, we have to address the elephant in the room. Where did this rule even come from? I mean, is this just another trend from a TikTok finance bro promising you'll be a millionaire by next Tuesday? Absolutely not. This framework has serious credibility. It's grounded in decades of real-world research. This system was popularized in the United States by Senator Elizabeth Warren and her daughter, Amelia Warren Tyagi. They wrote about it in their 2005 book, All Your Worth, The Ultimate Lifetime Money Plan. Now look, before you check out because of politics, I need you to understand why this matters. This has nothing to do with red or blue. Long before she was a senator, Elizabeth Warren was a professor at Harvard Law School. And what was her specialty? What did she spend decades of her life studying? Bankruptcy. She spent her career digging through court filings and financial records trying to answer one single devastating question. Why do hardworking American families go broke? She wasn't studying hedge funds. She was studying us. She saw exactly how families got trapped. She saw how one medical emergency, one car breakdown, or just a mountain of decision fatigue could push a family over the edge. She saw the patterns. She saw that budget burnout we talked about. This 50-30-20 rule wasn't just a clever idea for a book. This was her answer. This was her data-driven, real-world tested plan to prevent financial disaster before it happens. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a stay safe and build wealth sustainably plan. It's a blueprint for balance and stability. And I don't know about you, but in this economy, stability sounds pretty damn good. Okay, so we know why it's credible. Now let's get practical. How do we actually start? The single most important step is figuring out what number you're applying this rule to. This is where most people go wrong. You do not use your gross income, not that big, impressive salary number they tell you in your job offer. That number is a fantasy. This entire system, the 50, the 30, the 20, it's based on your after-tax income, your net pay. That is the actual number that hits your checking account on payday. That is the only number that matters. That is the real money you have to spend, save, and live on. So your first step is to look at your pay stub or your bank deposit. What is that net number? Got it? Good. Now we can finally put that number to work. Let's start with that first and most important bucket, the 50%. This is the foundation for your needs. And getting this part right is the entire key to making the budget work. So what exactly counts as a need and what doesn't? Let's break that down. All right, you've got your net pay number. Now we get to the hard part, the foundation, the 50% needs bucket. This is the most important number in your entire budget. Get this wrong, and nothing else works. So what is a need? A need is not something you really, really want. A need is a non-negotiable survival expense. These are the things you must pay to keep the lights on, a roof over your head, and show up to work. We're talking about the big four. Housing, your rent or your mortgage payment. Utilities, electric, water, heat, and yes, in 2025, a basic internet connection is a need. Transportation, your car payment, your insurance, the gas to get to work, or your public transit pass. Groceries, the food you buy to keep you alive. And finally, the fifth one, which we'll come back to, minimum debt payments. Now let's stop right there, because this is where the entire budget bleeds out. That word, groceries.
Let me crystal clear on this. The groceries you buy at Kroger, the chicken breast and rice you get at Trader Joe's, the stuff you actually cook at home, that is a need. That $18 sweet green salad you grabbed for lunch, that is a want. The $7 Starbucks latte you get every morning, want. Ordering $50 of sushi from DoorDash because you're too tired to cook, that is a want. I used to burn hundreds of dollars a month telling myself it's just food, but it wasn't. It was convenience, it was a treat, and it was destroying my budget. This groceries versus restaurants trap is the single biggest leak for most people. If you only fix this one thing, you will suddenly find hundreds of dollars you thought you never had. Okay, now for the second biggest mistake, debt. There's a rumor, a myth, that all your debt payments go into this needs bucket. So you throw your $200 minimum student loan payment plus the extra $300 you're trying to pay to get ahead, and suddenly your needs are overflowing. Here is the fact. Only the minimum required payment is a need. That is the non-negotiable amount you must pay to not go into default. That extra $300 you're choosing to pay, that's not survival. That's a financial goal. It's an amazing goal, but it doesn't belong here. It comes from a different bucket, which we'll get to in a minute. So add it all up. Your rent, your car, your lights, your actual groceries, and your minimum debt payments. Does that total come in at or under 50% of your take-home pay? If it does, congratulations, you are on solid ground. Now we get to the fun part. You've handled your survival. You've secured the foundation. It's time to talk about the other side of money. The reason we actually work in the first place. Let's talk about the 30% bucket. Let's talk about your wants. Okay, we just got through the 50% needs bucket. That was the broccoli. That was the foundation. It's the boring, tough, non-negotiable part. Now, we get to talk about the reason you go to work every day. It's time for the 30% wants bucket. This is your permission to live. This is the money for that $18 sweet grin salad. This is your Netflix, your Spotify, your gym membership. This is for dining out, going to bars with friends, grabbing tickets to that concert. This is your hobbies. This is your vacation fund. This is that new pair of sneakers you've been eyeing, or that new gadget you kind of need but really want. Now, a lot of traditional, hardcore budgets treat this category as frivolous, as weakness, as the first thing you must cut to zero. And that right there is exactly why they fail. This 30% bucket is not your frivolous money. This is your sanity money. This is the psychological key that makes the entire system sustainable. Here's why. Think about your relationship with money right now. When you go out to a nice dinner or buy a new shirt, what do you feel? If you're like I was, you feel a little guilty, don't you? That little voice in the back of your head whispers, "Are you sure you should be spending this? You should be saving this. You're going to regret this." We've been trained to feel guilt every time we spend on ourselves. The 50-30-20 rule destroys that guilt. This is not a budget, it's a spending plan. And this 30% is your permission slip. If your 30% bucket has $600 in it for the month, you have $600 of guilt-free money to spend on whatever you want. You can spend every last cent of it on lattes and DoorDash and feel zero guilt. Why? Because you're not stealing from your other buckets. You know your rent is paid. You know your utilities are covered. And, as we'll see in a second, you know your future is being invested in. This is what finally breaks that feast or famine cycle. You know what I'm talking about. You restrict so hard for 3 weeks, you say no to friends, you eat rice and beans, you're a good budgeter. And then you crack. You go on a $400 Amazon binge. You order the most expensive thing on the menu. You blow the budget and end up right back where you started, feeling like a failure. That's not discipline. That's a binge and restrict diet, and diets do not work. This 30% bucket is your sustainable, planned, healthy allowance. It's what makes this a lifestyle, not a prison sentence. It's what ensures you'll still be doing this a year from now. So, we've covered your 50% needs, your survival. We've covered your 30% wants, your sanity. Now we have to talk about the final 20%. And I need you to lean in for this, because this isn't what's left over. This isn't the scraps at the end of the month. This 20%, this is the entire point. This is the engine of your new financial life. This is the financial goals bucket. This is where you pay yourself first. Let's talk about the biggest rumor, the biggest lie in personal finance. I'll just save whatever's left at the end of the month. How has that worked out for you? How has that worked out for any of us? You pay your rent, you pay your car note, you buy your groceries, you go out for dinner, you buy that thing on Amazon, and on the 29th, you look at your account. And what's left? $50? $20? More often than not, nothing. That save what's left method is a guaranteed path to failure. It treats saving as an afterthought. The 50-30-20 rule flips the entire script. It forces you to pay yourself first. This 20% comes off the top before you spend a single dollar on your wants. This is your future self-fund. This is the money that buys you freedom. So what's in this bucket? First, and most importantly, your emergency fund. This is your moat. This is your shield. This is 3 to 6 months of your needs, that 50% number tucked away. So when your car does break down or you get a surprise medical bill, it's an inconvenience, not a disaster. Next, retirement. This is your 401k match. This is your IRA. This is you buying your 65-year-old self a life of dignity, a life where work is a choice, not a requirement. This is saving for a down payment on a house. This is investing in a brokerage account. And remember that debt?
This is Debt Fact Part 2. Your minimum payments were a need. But this is where you go on the attack. That debt snowball or avalanche method you want to use? That extra $100, that extra $500 you're throwing at your credit card or student loan? It's funded from right here. Because becoming debt-free is one of the most powerful financial goals you can possibly have. But, okay, but how? How do you actually do this? How do you resist the temptation to just spend that 20%? You don't. You don't rely on willpower. You rely on systems. Here is the secret to making this entire thing work. Automation. The day after your paycheck hits your checking account, you set up an automatic transfer. That 20%, it gets swept out. It goes directly into your high-yield savings account for your emergency fund. It goes directly into your retirement account. It's gone. You can't spend what you don't see. You have paid your future self first. The 50% for needs is there, and that 30% left in your account, now it's 100% guilt-free. You can spend every last penny because you know the most important job is already done. This is the system. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for your goals. It's simple, it's balanced, it's proven. But I can hear what some of you are screaming at the screen right now. 50% for needs? My rent alone is 50% of my income. My needs are at 70%. This is impossible. This is the most common roadblock. What do you do when your numbers just don't fit? You're not broken. The plan isn't broken. You just need the next step. Let's talk about it. Okay, let's get to the objection I know everyone is thinking. This sounds great if you don't live in the real world. 50% for needs? Are you insane? My rent alone is 50% of my paycheck. I live in San Francisco. I live in New York. I live in Boston. My needs are 70%. And I hear you. This is the single biggest yeah but in all of budgeting. But I need you to understand this, and it's the most important point of the entire video. If your needs are at 70%, the rule isn't broken. It's working. It is working perfectly. It's a diagnostic tool, and it has slammed its hand on the table, flashed a giant red warning light, and screamed at you. It's telling you in cold, hard, undeniable numbers that you are house poor or car poor. It's telling you that your baseline cost of survival is too high, and it is eating your future alive. This forces a hard adult question, and you have two choices. Choice one is the short-term fix. You adjust the rule, you accept your reality, and you move to a 60-20-20 split, or maybe a 70-10-20 split. But look at what you just did. You've sacrificed your wants and slashed your goals just to cover your needs. It's a temporary band-aid, and you will feel squeezed all the time. Choice two is the long-term fix. This is the one no one wants to hear. You make a major lifestyle change. You get a roommate to split that rent. You sell the $600 a month car and buy a reliable $250 a month Toyota. You move. I know that's not a fun answer, but the 50-30-20 rule didn't create the problem. It revealed it, and now you can't unsee it. Okay, next, yeah, but. What about me? I'm a 1099 contractor. I'm a freelancer. My income is different every single month. What's my after-tax income? This is critical. Your net income is not your total revenue. It is not that $5,000 check that client just sent you. Here's a little-known fact that bankrupts freelancers. The first thing you must do before this budget even begins is set aside 25 to 30% of all your revenue right off the top. That money is never yours. That is for self-employment tax, Social Security, Medicare, and your income taxes. The 50-30-20 rule applies to the 70% that's left over. That is your real net income. And one last one, the windfall fact. You get a $2,000 work bonus. You get a $1,500 tax refund. What bucket does that go into? The temptation is to say, awesome, that's $2,000 from my 30% wants bucket. New TV, vacation. Don't do it. This is a test. A windfall is a one-time event. Do not let it cause lifestyle inflation. Here is the pro tip. 100% of that bonus, 100% of that refund goes directly into your 20% financial goals bucket. Use it to execute a high-interest credit card. Use it to instantly fund your emergency fund. A windfall is an accelerator for your goals, not your wants. See? The rule is flexible. It's not a rigid gauge, it's a map. It shows you the truth. So, now that we know the rules, we know the exceptions, how do we actually do this? What's the final, simple step to putting this all together and finally taking control? Let's land this plane. We've been through it all. We've defined the buckets, we've handled the yeah buts, we've landed the plane. Now, it's time to act. I don't want you to think about this. I don't want you to try it later. I want you to do this right now before this video even ends. You don't need a 4-hour financial planning session. You don't need that 47-line spreadsheet that made you miserable. You need 3 steps. That's it. Step 1, find your number. Pause this video if you have to. Go grab your last pay stub or log into your banking app. Find that one single number, your net pay, the actual deposit that hits your account. You got it? Good. Step 2, do the math. Pull out your phone's calculator. Take that net pay number, multiply it by 0.50. That's your needs limit. Multiply it by 0.30. That's your wants allowance. Multiply it by 0.20. That's your goals target. Now write those 3 dollar amounts on a single sticky note. $1,500, $900, $600, whatever they are. Take that sticky note and put it on your computer monitor. That is your new financial plan. Not a 47-line nightmare, that. Step 3, automate your 20%. This is the one that makes it real. Log into your bank right now. Go to transfers. Set up an automatic recurring transfer from your checking account to your high-yield savings account. Amount? That 20% goals number you just wrote down. When? Schedule it for the day after every single payday. Click confirm. Done. That's it. You just did it. You just guaranteed you will pay yourself first. You just took all the emotion, all the willpower, all the budget burnout, and you deleted it from the equation. You just put your financial future on autopilot. That right there is the entire system. It's not complicated. It's not magic. It's just simple math and a 5-minute setup that just changed your entire life. You are now officially in control.
So let's just pause for a second. If you followed those last 3 steps, you just did it. You just made a budget that works. How long did that take? 3 minutes? 5? Now I want you to notice something. Notice what didn't happen. You didn't have to open a 47-tabbed spreadsheet. Your eyes aren't blurry. You don't feel that 10 p.m. Sunday night dread. You didn't have to track a single $6.50 latte. You just made 3 decisions. You defined 3 buckets. Remember that 90% of people who fail? They fail because they're trying to track every single penny. They burn out. You just skipped that. By focusing on proportion instead of perfection, by making your savings automatic, you've already beaten the 90%. This is the whole secret. It's not about willpower. It's not about being a financial genius. It's about building a system that makes the right choice the easiest choice. From this moment on, the most important part of your financial life is on autopilot. Your 20% goals bucket is handled. It's gone, working for your future self before you can even touch it. Your 50% needs bucket is sitting there waiting to pay your rent and keep the lights on. And that 30% wants bucket? That is now officially your guilt-free money. When you go out to dinner next Friday, when you buy that new shirt, when you order that takeout, the guilt is gone. You're not blowing your budget. You are following your plan. So please, go enjoy that 30%. You've earned it.